Okay, so I have this controversial opinion, okay? And the controversial opinion that I have is because I keep hearing women saying that they don't have the same rights as men, they have less than men, they struggle more than men. I'm constantly hearing these opinions from women. And my controversial point of view, okay, and this is what I want you to tell me about what you think, is that in reality, women have more privileges than men do. They are more privileged, okay? And, um, it's incredibly frustrating to meet women constantly. I meet a lot of women that are professionals that graduated school, that made it really far in life. And they'll say something along the lines of they did it by themselves, they were totally independent, they didn't have a boyfriend or a husband to help them out. Um, they didn't depend on a man's money, you know. And I'm constantly hearing this from women, and it's frustrating to hear them say these things, okay? It's frustrating because it's very rare for a woman not to get any help from men. Okay, let me repeat that. It's very rare for a woman not to get help from men. Okay, let me elaborate. All right, our society, all right, treats women like damsels in distress. All right, whenever a woman has a flat tire, whenever she is lost, whenever she needs advice, or most importantly, emotional support. She's crying. I'm so sad. There's a man who's willing to help her. Okay? She doesn't even have to ask. She'll just look lost. Where am I? And a man will show up and go, hey, are you lost? The reason, and this happens especially if she's beautiful, she's really attractive. She'll constantly have men help her here and there. It's kind of like what you see in movies, Deus Ex Machina, when someone comes in to solve the problem, okay? And this happens because the primary way that men flirt with women, and it makes sense, okay, is by helping women out. And women don't notice this. They don't realize this. That the old man, because she thinks he's an old man, he's just a nice, kind old man that opened the door for me. What a gentleman. Wants to actually get with her. Okay? Men flirt by being nice to women. That's how men flirt. And that's not a bad way to flirt, actually. It's a very nice way to flirt with people. Sure, they want something out of it. They're hoping to get something out of it. In this case, sex or a relationship. But nonetheless, that's how men flirt. All right? So if you're a very exceptionally attractive woman, you're constantly going to have men helping you out. This does not mean that women don't a lot of professional women, successful women, did not work hard for what they have in life. It does not mean that men did all the work for them. Okay? What it does mean is that they did not do it alone. Just because you didn't have a boyfriend or a husband, which by the way is also rare. A lot of women have boyfriends. A lot of women during college, when they're broke and they're taking classes in college, maybe they choose not to be single. I mean, maybe they choose to be single, right? But they can always get a boyfriend. They can always get a guy to be with her, and they're always getting emotional support from male classmates, men who are willing to help them with studying. Yeah, you might think the guy who wants to help you study and take your test is just interested in being a good student in class. But in the back of his mind, he's hoping that it gets sexual, that you have an interest in him, that it goes further. Men flirt by being nice. All right? And there are women who get men to be nice to them throughout their entire life. Men who, case in point, I remember I was working at a place and there was a beautiful woman there, a woman of color there, and she was very beautiful. She was gorgeous. I mean, she was hot. A lot of people found her attractive, okay? And she had a very simple job. All she did was pass out samples. It wasn't a very luxurious job. And I've seen maybe one or two men approach her, and they would strike up a conversation. They were older, and they would strike up a conversation with her, and they would tell her, ways that she can make more money, and careers that she can get into. They were helping her out in a way that I'm like, damn, if only somebody helped me out like that, where would I be in life? And that's an example of how much women get help from men. Okay. Also, men on the other hand, we do things really alone. When we have a flat tire, when we get lost, when we need help, women don't help. Okay. I have lived on this earth for a long time, and I've dated and I've dealt with women. And one of the key differences between men and women is men are helpful, women are not. Okay? They are not. Okay? We men, when we're successful, when we make it to the top, when we get somewhere in life, we truly did it by ourselves. There was no woman to help us with our flat tire, to help us with our car, to help us with our bills, to help us with directions, to tell us what career to go after, to be there for us when we're broke and we have no money and we're struggling and our house burned down and we're crying. Ooh. There's no woman there to help us. None. Okay? And that is one of the quintessential differences between women and men in this particular society. Women rarely, ever succeed on their own. Rarely. Okay? Now, if you're a woman who says to me, no man has ever helped you in your life, not with directions, not with financial advice, not with emotional support, not with compliments galore, telling you you're beautiful and you're gorgeous and you're smart, I'll give you credit for your success. But good luck with that, because if you're a woman, the likelihood is you had significant help from a number of men in your life. Not only men, but also other women. Because again, this is the damsel in distress society. It is the idea that because you're a woman, you are more vulnerable, you don't have as much resources, and so people are more likely to help you in general as well. Okay? Whereas a man is seen as having more for no apparent reason. I don't know. Okay? Irrespective of whether he's a person of color, black, Hispanic, he belongs to a community that is vulnerable in terms of finances and resources. Irrespective of that, he's seen as having more. Okay? So men do not have that privilege. And I have not even gotten into sex. Women can have sex anytime they want. They can be themselves. They can cry. They can be angry. They can be whatever they want, express their own opinions, and still have sex. Okay. And I've heard some women that I've talked to tell me that it's not good sex, so therefore it doesn't count. It's not a privilege. Okay. If that's true, then why are you not a virgin? Why have you had several sexual partners in your life? If sex is not fun and thrilling, why are you still doing it? Okay? Now, if you're a virgin or you've only been with one man in your life, and you say it's not the most important thing to you and it's not something that helps you out in any way, I will respect that opinion. But most women who tell me that sex is not a big deal and therefore it's not a privilege, or I can have sex with anybody, but that's not a big deal to me, okay? And they're having sex every year, every once in a while with men, are hypocrites, okay? They're asleep. Their head is underneath a rock, okay? If they're going to tell me that doesn't help them out in any way. Unless you like to do things that don't help you out, that makes zero sense, okay? So sex and the ability to be yourself and still a man wants to find you attractive is tremendous. We men don't have that. When we express our opinions, our feelings, when we express, our taste in clothing, anything that we do can result in us not getting intimacy, can result in us getting rejected, can result in us being ostracized from a relationship. Okay? And that is a privilege that women have that we don't have. Okay? And when I say sex, I don't just mean intercourse. I mean affection, hugs, kisses, you know, someone giving you a back massage, a foot massage, okay? All things that are scientifically proven to increase your health. And of course, I heard a woman tell me, well, you know, women get dogs and they get that from dogs, so they don't need men. I don't know if that's how accurate that is, but irrespective of the fact is that for a privilege to be a privilege, it does not have to be something that you like doing, okay? It just has to be something that you have an advantage over someone else. And sex is an advantage that women definitely have, okay? And that's on top of the whole thing about, you know, being independent, getting help from men throughout their life. That's just another aspect of that, okay? I am not at all saying that women don't have challenges that are specific to their gender, or that they don't deal with their own versions of hardship, or that they have an easy life. I am only saying that they have a slightly easier life than men do. And this entire thing about women being victims and they don't get, they have it the worst out of everybody, only perpetuates a society that is there more for women than for men. Okay? And in terms of the men that women are talking about that have advantages over them, what they're predominantly talking about are wealthy men. Men that have money, men that were born into wealth, men that come from wealthy families. Which you can say that about any wealthy person. Okay? But they're not referring to men that are broke, poor, come from poverty, hardships. They're not talking about those men who supposedly have an advantage. They don't. Okay? We don't have the advantage. We cannot marry ourselves out of poverty. We cannot do that. Okay? I've met women that were doctors, lawyers, successful, who personally did not want to date any man who made less money than them, who had no money, or who struggled in finding a job or struggled in getting an education. Anything that he struggled with, they didn't want to deal with that. Okay? Whereas men, on the other hand, are willing to date down. Date a woman who's working at McDonald's or something. Date a woman that is not working at the moment. Men are more open-minded because, again, their way of flirting, their way of showing love and demonstrating love is being helpful and supportive and doing things for women. Okay? Whereas that's not the case for women. Now, leave your opinions below. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do women have more privileges than men? Do men have more privileges? Why do men have more privileges? Let me know your comments below. Thanks for watching and take care.